Change your thinking. Change your world. You have the power to turn it all around. To kill your negative thinking is to reclaim your power, your peace, and your potential. What if I told you that you have the power to break free from this cycle? What if you could shift your mindset and replace negativity with confidence, clarity, and motivation? You can, and today I'm going to show you how. In this video, we're going to dive deep into practical ways to eliminate negative thinking from your life. We'll explore how to challenge every negative thought, how to stop fear from holding you back, and how to train your mind to focus on solutions, not problems. It's time to stop letting negative thoughts control your life and start taking control of your mind. Are you ready to start thinking in a way that empowers you instead of limits you? If you are, keep watching. This isn't about just feeling good for a moment. It's about creating lasting change. It's time to transform the way you think and take the first steps toward becoming the person you know you can be. Let's dive in. Number 1, break free by challenging every negative thought daily. Negative thinking is something that every person at some point in their life deals with. It's easy to slip into that mindset where doubts start to take control. You think things like, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, or this will never work out. The truth is, these thoughts are powerful. They can shape your actions and ultimately your life. But here's something you should know. Just because these thoughts pop up doesn't mean you have to accept them. You don't have to let them define you or determine your future. Every day we face countless opportunities to think differently. We have the choice to either let negative thoughts dictate our actions or take control and challenge them. And challenging those negative thoughts is how you break free from them. It's how you regain your power and move toward a life filled with positivity and growth. But how do you do that? How do you challenge every negative thought that enters your mind? First, understand that negative thinking doesn't just happen overnight. It builds up over time, shaped by past experiences, failures, and even the people around you. The more you focus on the negative, the more natural it feels, but the longer you let it continue, the harder it is to break free. But the good news is that every day is a new opportunity to start changing your mindset. Every moment you're faced with a negative thought is an opportunity to challenge it and replace it with something better. Start by recognizing that you have the power to control your thoughts. They don't control you unless you let them. The key to breaking free from negative thinking is awareness. When you start recognizing when those thoughts are creeping in, you can do something about it. The first step is to catch yourself in the act of thinking negatively. If you're constantly thinking, I'm not good enough, or I'm not capable, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this really true? The answer is almost always no. You are good enough, you are capable, and most importantly, you are in control. Once you've identified a negative thought, it's time to challenge it. Ask yourself a few questions to shift your perspective. What's the evidence that this thought is true? What's the evidence that this thought is false? What's the best possible outcome of this situation? By asking these questions, you're forcing your brain to focus on the facts rather than the feelings. You're getting out of your head and into the reality of the situation. When you challenge negative thoughts in this way, you'll start to see that many of them are based on fear, insecurity, or assumptions rather than truth. Fear is often the root cause of negative thinking, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. But fear is just a feeling, and feelings can be changed. It's important to remind yourself that fear doesn't define you. It's simply a feeling that you can choose to face head-on. Now let's talk about replacing those negative thoughts with something better. It's one thing to challenge a negative thought, but it's another to fill your mind with positive, empowering beliefs. After you've questioned the validity of a negative thought, replace it with something that supports your growth. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, replace it with, I have the skills I need, and I'm constantly improving. Instead of thinking, this is too hard, replace it with, I can take this one step at a time and make progress. The goal is to shift your thinking from one of defeat to one of possibility. One of the best ways to reinforce this new way of thinking is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself to build self-confidence and reinforce your belief in your abilities. Every day, take time to say things like, I am capable, I am confident, I am worthy of success, and I have everything I need to succeed. These affirmations will begin to replace the negative beliefs you've been holding on to for so long. It's also important to create a routine around challenging your negative thoughts. This isn't something that will happen overnight. Changing the way you think takes time and consistency. Make it a daily habit to catch yourself when a negative thought pops up, challenge it, and replace it with something more empowering. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes, and over time you'll start to notice that those negative thoughts don't have as much power over you as they once did. Another powerful tool in breaking free from negative thinking is gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. It helps you see the positives in your life, no matter how small they may seem. When you feel negativity creeping in, take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for. Think about your health, your family, your friends, your opportunities, and your accomplishments. Gratitude helps rewire your brain to look for the good instead of the bad, and it strengthens your mindset to push through tough situations with a positive outlook. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is another key element to breaking free from negative thinking. The people you spend time with have a direct impact on your mindset. If you're constantly around people who are negative, complaining, or focused on what's wrong, it's easy to fall into that same pattern of thinking. But when you surround yourself with people who lift you up, encourage you, and challenge you to be better, you begin to adopt their mindset. Find those people who believe in you and who inspire you to think bigger, and make sure you spend as much time as possible with them. It's also important to remember that breaking free from negative thinking is not about avoiding or ignoring your problems. It's about facing them with a positive mindset and believing that you have the power to overcome them. Life will always have challenges, that's part of the journey. But how you approach those challenges is what sets successful people apart from those who stay stuck. Successful people don't let negative thoughts stop them. They use those thoughts as motivation to push forward, knowing that they are stronger than any obstacle they face. In conclusion, breaking free from negative thinking is about taking control of your mind and choosing to think in ways that support your growth and happiness. It's about challenging those negative thoughts, replacing them with positive, empowering beliefs, and making it a daily habit. It's about surrounding yourself with positive influences, practicing gratitude, and facing challenges with a mindset of possibility. It takes time, it takes effort, but it's worth it. You have the power to change your thinking, and in doing so you change your life. Start today, and take that first step toward a life free of negativity. The choice is yours. Number 2. Destroy fear by taking small, bold daily actions. Fear is a natural part of life. It's something every single person faces. Whether it's the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, or the fear of the unknown. Fear holds many of us back from reaching our full potential. We all feel it. But the question is, how do you deal with it? Do you let it paralyze you? Do you let it stop you from pursuing your dreams, from taking that next step? Or do you decide to face it head on, take control and move forward despite it? The reality is, you can't wait for fear to disappear. It won't. Fear doesn't just vanish when you decide you want it to go away. It's always going to be there. What's important is how you choose to react to it. Fear is only as powerful as you let it be. You don't have to let it control your actions. Instead of letting fear define you, you can define your response to it. And you can do that by taking small, bold actions every single day. When you're faced with fear, the instinct might be to avoid it, run from it, or shrink away. But avoiding fear doesn't solve anything. It only lets it grow stronger. The more you avoid the things that scare you, the bigger they seem. But when you choose to take action in spite of fear, you begin to shrink its power. You start to take back control, one small step at a time. The key to destroying fear is not to tackle everything all at once, but to take small, bold actions every day. Each time you step outside your comfort zone, each time you face a fear, you diminish its hold on you. It doesn't matter how small the action is. What matters is that you are moving forward. By taking these small steps, you begin to create momentum, and that momentum will carry you forward, bit by bit, until you've destroyed that fear that once held you back. Let's talk about how to start. The first step is to identify what you're afraid of. This may sound simple, but fear often keeps us in the dark. We're afraid of things, but we don't always take the time to recognize exactly what those fears are. Are you afraid of failing? Afraid of what people will think? Afraid of not being good enough? Whatever the fear is, take a moment to name it. This is important because once you can see your fear for what it truly is, you can begin to break it down and deal with it. The next step is to break that fear down into small, manageable parts. The reason fear can be so paralyzing is that we tend to look at the whole picture, this massive, overwhelming task or challenge, and it seems impossible to conquer. But if you take a moment to break that task down into smaller steps, the fear doesn't feel quite as big. It's like looking at a mountain. When you think about climbing the entire mountain, it feels overwhelming. But when you focus on the next step in front of you, it's much more manageable. For example, let's say you're afraid of speaking in public. The idea of standing in front of a crowd might be terrifying, but instead of focusing on the entire speech or presentation, start by practicing in front of the mirror, then practice in front of a small group of friends. As you continue to take small actions, you'll start to build confidence. Gradually, the fear of public speaking won't seem as daunting. You will have taken small steps every day to face it and diminish it. Once you've broken your fear down into smaller pieces, start taking bold actions. A small action is still bold because it's a step you're taking despite the fear. Maybe it's making a phone call you've been putting off. Maybe it's taking the first step toward a goal that seems too big. Maybe it's trying something new that scares you. Whatever it is, take that step. Don't wait until you feel completely ready, because you may never feel 100% ready. Action is the antidote to fear. The more you act, the more you build your confidence, and the less power fear has over you. It's important to remember that fear won't just go away after one bold action. It's a process. It takes time, and it takes consistency. Every time you face a fear, you are reinforcing a new belief in yourself. You can handle this, you can take action, and you can overcome anything that comes your way. Don't expect instant results. Expect progress. Celebrate every small step you take, because that's how you build real confidence and destroy fear over time. Another powerful way to destroy fear is to focus on your why. Why do you want to take action? Why do you want to break through your fears? Having a strong sense of purpose behind your actions gives you the motivation to push through fear when it's trying to hold you back. When your why is strong enough, it becomes easier to take bold actions in spite of the fear. It might be the desire to create a better life for yourself or your family, or it might be the drive to pursue a passion you've always had. Whatever your why is, keep it in mind as you take each step forward. It will fuel you when fear tries to slow you down. One of the most powerful parts of taking small, bold actions is the momentum it creates. When you take action despite fear, it starts to snowball. The first action may feel difficult, but the second action feels easier. With every small step you take, the fear becomes smaller, and with every bold step, you build a stronger belief in your ability to succeed. Eventually, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. What once seemed impossible now seems doable, and that's the power of taking small, bold actions every day. Another key element in destroying fear is reframing your thoughts. Fear often comes from the stories we tell ourselves. We imagine the worst-case scenario and believe that's going to happen. But the truth is, most of the things we fear never actually happen. Instead of focusing on what might go wrong, focus on what could go right. When you reframe your thinking, you start to see opportunities instead of obstacles. Fear starts to fade as you shift your mindset from a place of scarcity and doubt to a place of possibility and hope. Finally, surround yourself with people who support you. Fear can feel overwhelming when you're facing it alone, but when you have a network of people who believe in you, who encourage you, and who are there to cheer you on, it becomes easier to face your fears. Find those people who lift you up, who push you to take bold actions, and who remind you of your potential. With a supportive network behind you, you'll feel stronger, braver, and more capable of destroying your fears. To sum it up, fear doesn't have to control your life. You can destroy fear by taking small, bold actions every day. Break down your fears into manageable steps. Take consistent action, and focus on your why. With every action you take, you'll build momentum and confidence, and fear will lose its power over you. Remember, fear is a feeling, not a fact. You have the ability to face it head-on and move forward. Keep taking those bold actions, and watch as your life begins to change in ways you never thought possible. Number 3. Rewire your mind by focusing only on solutions. Life throws obstacles at us every day. Sometimes, it feels like the weight of the world is on our shoulders. We're all faced with challenges, and it can be easy to get stuck in the problem. When problems come our way, it's natural to focus on them, to worry about how difficult they are, and to feel overwhelmed. But here's the thing. The more you focus on the problem, the more it grows. The more energy you give to the problem, the bigger it becomes in your mind. It dominates your thoughts and keeps you trapped in a cycle of negativity. The key to moving forward and making progress is to break that cycle. Instead of focusing on the problem, focus on the solution. Rewire your mind to see solutions instead of obstacles, and you'll unlock the power to overcome anything in your path. This is a mindset shift that can transform your life. It's about choosing where you direct your energy. When a challenge arises, the first instinct might be to complain, to dwell on how unfair or difficult it is. But what if you took that energy and used it to think about how you could solve the problem? What if, instead of letting the problem consume your mind, you made a conscious decision to focus on what you can do to fix it? That's how you start to rewire your mind. That's how you begin to move from a place of helplessness to a place of empowerment. The first step in this process is recognizing the difference between focusing on a problem and focusing on a solution. A problem is just an obstacle, a situation you don't want. It's what's standing in your way. But a solution is the way forward. A solution is the way out of that obstacle. A solution is the path to progress. It's the opportunity for growth. So when you find yourself faced with a problem, ask yourself, what's the solution? What's the way forward? Instead of letting the problem fill your mind, shift your focus to the actions you can take to overcome it. This doesn't mean ignoring the problem. It's about choosing not to be consumed by it. When you focus only on the problem, your thoughts become negative. You start to feel stuck, frustrated, and helpless. But when you focus on the solution, your thoughts become positive. You feel empowered and in control. You see the path ahead, and you begin to take action. Focusing on solutions trains your brain to think in terms of possibilities rather than limitations. It's about changing your perspective from I can't to I can. One of the most powerful ways to rewire your mind is to ask yourself better questions. When faced with a problem, most people ask questions like, why is this happening to me? Or why is this so hard? These questions keep you stuck in the problem. They make you focus on the negative and the things you can't control. But instead of asking these disempowering questions, start asking empowering questions. Ask, what can I do to fix this? What are my options? How can I learn from this? What can I do right now to make progress? These types of questions shift your focus away from the problem and toward the solution. Now, it's important to note that focusing on solutions doesn't mean that everything will always be easy. It doesn't mean that the solution will come immediately, or that the road ahead will be smooth. Sometimes the solution requires hard work, sacrifice, and persistence. But by focusing on the solution, you take the first step toward creating the change you want. You stop feeling stuck and start moving forward. Another key to rewiring your mind is practicing gratitude. It's easy to focus on what's wrong in your life, to see all the things you wish were different. But when you practice gratitude, you shift your focus to what's right. You start to see the positive, even in the midst of challenges. Gratitude helps you reframe your situation. Instead of focusing on the negative, you begin to appreciate the things that are going well, the things that are working in your favor. This change in focus can help you see solutions more clearly. When you practice gratitude, it's easier to shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. When you focus on what you don't have, you limit yourself. You feel like there's never enough. But when you focus on what you do have, you open yourself up to possibilities. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw problems. Gratitude rewires your brain to look for the good, And when you start looking for the good, you'll find solutions everywhere. Another powerful tool in rewiring your mind is visualization. Visualization is the process of imagining the success you want. It's about seeing yourself overcoming obstacles and achieving your goals. When you visualize a positive outcome, you train your brain to focus on solutions instead of problems. You start to believe that success is possible, and that belief drives you to take action. Visualization helps you stay focused on the bigger picture. When you visualize your goals and the solutions that will get you there, it's easier to ignore the distractions and setbacks that might come your way. In addition to visualization, affirmations can also help rewire your mind. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself to reinforce a belief or mindset. When you affirm that you are capable of overcoming challenges and finding solutions, you program your mind to believe it. You start to think differently, and that shift in thinking can lead to a shift in your actions. Affirmations help you stay focused on what's possible, rather than what's wrong. Finally, taking action is key to rewiring your mind. It's not enough to just think positive thoughts or visualize your success. You must take consistent, intentional action toward your goals. Action reinforces the belief that you can solve problems and create solutions. When you take action, you prove to yourself that you are capable of moving forward. Every small step you take builds your confidence and strengthens your ability to focus on solutions. Rewiring your mind takes time and practice. It's not something that happens overnight, but with consistent effort, you can change the way you think. You can train yourself to focus on solutions instead of problems, to look for opportunities instead of obstacles. This mindset shift will change the way you approach challenges in your life. It will empower you to take control, to move forward, and to create the success you want. Start today. Choose to focus on solutions, and watch how your life begins to transform. Number 4. Feed your growth by surrounding yourself with winners. The people you surround yourself with will play a significant role in shaping your outcomes. The environment you choose to engage with directly influences your mindset, your energy, and ultimately your achievements. This is not just about being around people who are kind or supportive. It's about deliberately placing yourself in the presence of individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to become better. If you want to grow, if you want to achieve greatness, feed your growth by surrounding yourself with winners. Now you might ask, what do I mean by winners? A winner isn't just someone who is successful in the traditional sense. A winner is someone who takes ownership of their life, someone who faces challenges head-on, someone who strives for progress rather than perfection. Winners think differently. They believe that success is a result of consistent effort, learning, and growth. When you spend time with these types of people, you begin to adopt the same mindset, the same habits, and the same determination that they have. Winners inspire action. They push you to become better by simply being themselves. When you surround yourself with winners, you will quickly find that their energy becomes contagious. You will find yourself motivated to take action, to learn more, to give your best. This is the power of the right company. You begin to adopt their perspective, and you realize that your dreams are not only possible but achievable. Winners will make you see the value in taking consistent action, in embracing discipline, and in keeping your eye on the long-term vision. But here's the thing. You have to be intentional about the people you let into your life. You can't afford to waste time with people who pull you down, who complain about everything, who make excuses for their lack of progress. If you want to grow, you need to distance yourself from negativity and instead seek out individuals who inspire you to push your limits. Winners are those who encourage you to aim higher, to think bigger, and to take bold steps. Their success doesn't intimidate you, it motivates you to rise to the occasion. Take a moment and think about the people you spend the most time with. Are they lifting you up or dragging you down? Are they encouraging you to reach your full potential, or are they feeding your doubts? The people around you directly influence your thought patterns. If you're constantly surrounded by negative, small-minded individuals, it's difficult to think big and take the actions required for success. But when you surround yourself with individuals who are driven, who believe in themselves, and who are committed to growth, it becomes easier for you to do the same. You begin to raise your standards because that's what winners do. They never settle for mediocrity. One of the most important aspects of growth is learning. When you're surrounded by winners, you're constantly learning from their experiences. You'll hear their stories of success, but you'll also hear their stories of failure. And from those failures you'll learn invaluable lessons. Winners are not afraid to fail because they understand that failure is simply a stepping stone to success. They embrace it, learn from it, and move forward stronger. This mindset shift is incredibly powerful because it teaches you to stop fearing failure and to start seeing it as an essential part of the process. Winners hold themselves accountable, and being around such people will force you to do the same. Accountability is a crucial element of success. When you're surrounded by people who are taking consistent action, staying focused on their goals, and holding themselves to high standards, it becomes harder for you to slack off. Winners don't make excuses, they make progress. Their commitment to excellence will inspire you to stop procrastinating and start taking real action. You'll begin to see that success isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about showing up every single day and doing the work, even when it's hard. But it's not just about the practical aspects of success. Being around winners has an emotional impact as well. They inspire you to believe in yourself, to believe that you too can accomplish incredible things. Their positivity and belief in their own abilities can help you overcome your own doubts and insecurities. They teach you that self-belief isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. You begin to see that success starts in your mind. If you can believe in yourself, if you can trust in your ability to figure things out, you'll be unstoppable. The people you surround yourself with will constantly remind you of your potential. Another benefit of surrounding yourself with winners is that it keeps you motivated. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when the road gets tough, and when progress seems slow. During those moments, the right people can help you keep going. They will remind you of why you started. They will encourage you when you feel like quitting, and they will provide the push you need to keep moving forward. Winners understand the importance of consistency. They understand that success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent, focused effort over time. When you're surrounded by people who embody that truth, it's impossible to forget that success requires perseverance. But let me be clear, surrounding yourself with winners doesn't mean you're going to agree with everything they do or say. It doesn't mean that they'll always be perfect, or that their path will be easy. It simply means that they have a growth mindset, and they prioritize progress over comfort. Being around winners means being around people who are willing to challenge you, who will encourage you to think bigger, act bolder, and push past your fears. They won't let you settle for less than your best. They will see your potential and remind you of it when you forget. Sometimes, this might require you to step out of your comfort zone and seek out new connections. It might mean joining a community of like-minded individuals who are on the same journey of growth as you. It might mean reaching out to someone you admire and asking them to mentor you. Whatever it looks like for you, it's important to be proactive about surrounding yourself with winners. It's not enough to just hope that they come into your life. You have to seek them out, make the effort, and create the environment that will allow you to grow. So I challenge you today, take a hard look at the people around you. Are they helping you grow, or are they holding you back? Are they lifting you up, or pulling you down? If you want to achieve more, if you want to grow, you must surround yourself with those who push you to be better. Winners don't just succeed, they lift others up along the way. They inspire, they challenge, and they motivate. They will feed your growth and help you become the best version of yourself. Remember, your environment is everything. If you want to win, if you want to grow, if you want to become the person you were meant to be, surround yourself with winners. Let their energy, their mindset, and their belief in themselves fuel your journey. When you feed your growth with the right people, you'll find that success isn't just a possibility, it's inevitable. Number 5. Fight back by writing down what you believe. One of the most powerful and impactful things you can do is to get clear on what you truly believe. And no, I'm not talking about vague, abstract beliefs. I'm talking about writing down what you believe deep inside. Your beliefs are the driving forces behind your actions, decisions, and ultimately, the life you build for yourself. When you're intentional about what you believe, you create a foundation for success that will support you through any challenges. So how do you fight back against the negative thinking that may be holding you back? By writing down what you believe, you start to take control of your own narrative. You stop letting your mind wander aimlessly, filled with doubts, fears, and negativity. Instead, you give yourself a clear, solid, and undeniable direction to follow. This act of writing down what you believe is your first step toward creating a life on your terms, not a life determined by circumstances or the opinions of others. When you put pen to paper and write down your beliefs, you're making a commitment to yourself. You're stating to the world, and most importantly to yourself, what matters to you. These beliefs act as your compass. When the world gets chaotic, when obstacles appear, and when doubts creep in, you can look back at what you wrote and remind yourself of the values that guide you. This act of writing is not just a mental exercise, it's a powerful tool for reinforcing your mindset. It's like planting seeds in the ground, which will later grow into the kind of life you want to live. Most people go through life without ever really thinking about what they believe. They let society's opinions, their upbringing, or the opinions of others shape their worldview. They allow outside influences to dictate their choices and actions. But when you take the time to define and write down your beliefs, you're taking ownership of your life. You are saying, this is who I am, and this is what I stand for. Your beliefs are the foundation of everything you do. They shape how you see the world, how you approach problems, and how you interact with others. If you believe you're capable of achieving great things, your actions will reflect that belief. If you believe that you're limited or unworthy, your actions will reflect those beliefs as well. The power of belief is immense. It shapes your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your reality. So why not take control of that process? Writing down your beliefs forces you to reflect on what truly matters. It helps you clarify your priorities and gives you a roadmap to follow. When you know what you believe, you become much more focused and intentional in your actions. You stop wasting time and energy on things that don't align with your values. You start making decisions that support your goals, not detract from them. Every time you write down your beliefs, you reinforce your sense of purpose and commitment to your goals. The process of writing down what you believe also serves as a constant reminder of your power. When you write down things like I am capable, I am worthy of success, and I can overcome challenges, you begin to internalize these beliefs. Over time, they become second nature. You stop questioning yourself every time an obstacle arises because you've already decided what you believe. This self-assurance is key to overcoming the doubts and fears that so often hold us back. But here's the thing. Writing down your beliefs is not a one-time activity. This is something you need to do consistently. Your beliefs should evolve with you as you grow. They should be a living, breathing reflection of who you are at every stage of your life. When you write down your beliefs on a regular basis, you begin to notice the areas of your life where you may be holding on to old limiting beliefs. You can identify the beliefs that are holding you back and replace them with ones that empower you. For example, if you've been telling yourself, I'm not good enough, you can replace that belief with I am more than capable of achieving everything I desire. The more you practice writing down empowering beliefs, the stronger your mindset becomes. There's a reason why this practice is so powerful. Writing is an active process that forces your mind to focus and concentrate. When you write down your beliefs, you're not just passively thinking about them, you're committing them to paper, solidifying them in your mind and giving them life. You're turning abstract ideas into something tangible. The act of writing helps solidify your beliefs because it requires you to focus on them and give them clarity. You can't write vague, wishy-washy beliefs and expect them to have an impact. Your beliefs need to be specific, direct, and rooted in your truth. If you want to see real change in your life, start by writing down what you believe. Be specific about your beliefs, and don't be afraid to write things down that may seem big or impossible at first. If you truly want to change your mindset and eliminate negative thinking, you need to take the time to sit down and define your beliefs in black and white. Make it clear what you stand for, what you want to achieve, and how you want to show up in the world. This practice will help you clarify your goals and focus your energy on what matters most. The next time you find yourself overwhelmed with negative thoughts, doubts, or fear, take a moment to pause and write down your beliefs. Remind yourself of who you are and what you stand for. Write down your strengths, your skills, and your potential. Reaffirm your commitment to your goals, and remember that you have everything you need to succeed. Writing down your beliefs is a way of taking back control over your life. It's a way of saying, I will not be swayed by fear, by negativity, or by circumstances. I am in control, and I am moving forward. But don't just write down your beliefs and forget about them. Post them somewhere visible, so you can see them every day. Let your beliefs serve as a constant reminder of your purpose and your potential. Let them guide you, motivate you, and empower you to keep going, even when things get tough. Writing down what you believe is a daily practice that requires commitment. You must consistently reinforce the beliefs that will propel you toward success and banish the negative thinking that holds you back. It's easy to let life's challenges dictate how we feel about ourselves. It's easy to let fear, doubt, and negativity take over. But when you write down your beliefs, you take the power back. You stop letting external circumstances control your thoughts, and you start controlling them yourself. This simple act can transform your mindset and change the trajectory of your life. So fight back against negative thinking by writing down what you believe. Make it a part of your daily routine, and watch how it changes everything. You have the power to shape your future, and it starts with the beliefs you write down today. Number 6. Crush doubt by remembering how far you came. Doubt is one of the most powerful emotions that can hold us back in life. It creeps in quietly, often when we least expect it, and it tells us that we aren't good enough or that we won't succeed. It can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in place, afraid to move forward. But here's the thing about doubt. It's not the truth. It's simply a feeling. And like all feelings, it is temporary. What's more important than the doubt itself is how you respond to it. When doubt comes into your mind, one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal is to remember how far you've come. Take a moment to pause and look back on everything you've already achieved. You might not have everything you want yet, but if you take the time to reflect, you'll realize that you've overcome challenges, fought through difficult times, and pushed through obstacles that once seemed impossible. And that's something to be proud of. Every step you've taken, every struggle you've faced, has contributed to the person you are today. And this person is capable of far more than you might give yourself credit for. Think about it. You've already made it this far. You've already proven to yourself that you can handle the tough stuff. You've survived the hard times and kept going, even when things felt like they might fall apart. If you can get through that, you can get through anything. The doubt you feel today is nothing compared to the obstacles you've already overcome. When you remember your past victories, you realize that you are strong, resilient, and more than capable of handling whatever comes next. Remembering how far you've come isn't just about looking at your past successes. It's about recognizing your growth. You're not the same person you were a year ago, or 5 years ago, or even a month ago. Every day, every experience, every lesson learned has shaped you into the person you are right now. You're better than you were yesterday, and you'll be even better tomorrow. That's the power of progress. It doesn't matter how small or big the step was. What matters is that you took it. Each step forward is proof of your ability to grow and to evolve. When you doubt yourself, you're allowing the fear of the unknown to take over. You're imagining all the things that could go wrong, and you're letting those possibilities dictate your actions. But when you remember how far you've come, you take the power back. You remind yourself that you've faced the unknown before and come out on top. You remind yourself that no matter how uncertain the future may seem, you've already built a track record of overcoming challenges. And that track record is proof that you can handle whatever comes next. Think about the times in your life when you faced a challenge that seemed impossible. Maybe it was a job loss, a difficult relationship, or a personal setback that left you feeling broken. But here you are, still standing, still moving forward. You've learned lessons from those difficult moments. You've gained strength, resilience, and wisdom that you didn't have before. And that is power. When you face doubt, look at those tough times and remind yourself, I've already come so far. I've already overcome obstacles. This doubt doesn't define me. Don't let your current feelings of doubt blind you to the progress you've made. It's easy to focus on what you haven't achieved yet, but that will only keep you stuck. Instead, focus on what you have achieved and how far you've come. Celebrate your growth. Celebrate your resilience. When you do this, you shift your mindset from one of defeat to one of empowerment. You start to see yourself as someone who can achieve great things, someone who is capable of turning challenges into opportunities. When you remember your past victories, you can turn your doubt into fuel. use that memory to push yourself forward. When you doubt whether you can achieve your goals, think about how you've already done things you once thought impossible. You've faced challenges before and come out stronger. So what makes you think you can't do it again? Your past successes are proof that you are capable of overcoming doubt and moving forward. No matter what, doubt thrives on uncertainty, and the more uncertain we feel, the more doubt takes hold. But when you look at your past, you see a story of perseverance, growth, and triumph. You see evidence that you've already dealt with uncertainty and came out the other side stronger. That's the key to crushing doubt. Reminding yourself that you've already done it. You've already faced the unknown and made it through. You've proven time and time again that you can rise above doubt. And now it's time to do it again. It's important to remember that overcoming doubt doesn't mean you'll never experience it again. Doubt is a part of life. It's something that everyone faces at some point. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to that doubt. The most successful people in life don't eliminate doubt. They simply learn to push through it. They remember how far they've come, and they use that memory to propel them forward. They know that doubt doesn't last forever, but their determination to succeed does. Every time doubt creeps in, take a moment to reflect. Look at your past, at all the challenges you've overcome, and remind yourself that you are capable. Remember that the doubt you feel today doesn't define you. What defines you is your ability to keep moving, keep growing, and keep pushing forward. You've already proven that you have what it takes, and there is no reason to believe that you can't keep going. You're not defined by the setbacks or the failures. You're defined by the courage you show in the face of doubt. You're defined by your willingness to keep going, even when the road gets tough. You're defined by your ability to rise above fear and doubt and keep moving forward toward your dreams. And when you look back on how far you've come, you'll realize that you've already shown yourself just how powerful you truly are. Number 7. Claim peace by turning off toxic social media. Social media has become a part of our daily lives, and for many of us, it's an integral part of how we stay connected to the world. It's where we share our lives, keep up with friends, and sometimes it's where we turn for inspiration. But despite its many benefits, social media can also be a source of stress, anxiety, and negativity. The constant flow of information, the comparison to others, and the constant bombardment of opinions can create a toxic environment that steals our peace. If you want to claim peace in your life, one of the first and most powerful steps you can take is to turn off the toxic noise of social media. It may sound simple, but it can be life-changing. The truth is, social media is often designed to pull you in, to keep you scrolling, and to make you feel like you're missing out if you don't engage. It's easy to get caught up in the drama, the debates, and the endless flow of updates. But when you do, you lose control over your own thoughts and emotions. Think about it for a moment. How do you feel after scrolling through your feed for an hour? Does it leave you feeling energized, uplifted, and peaceful? Or does it leave you feeling drained, frustrated, and overwhelmed? For many people, social media is a constant source of anxiety. Whether it's seeing the highlight reels of other people's lives, or reading negative comments that spark a sense of anger or frustration, social media can disrupt your mental and emotional well-being. It's easy to get lost in the noise and forget that there is a real world outside of the screen. When you take a step back from social media, you reclaim control over your own mind. You begin to protect your peace. You stop allowing the opinions of others, the negativity, and the pressure to consume your energy. Instead, you focus on what really matters: the present moment, the things that bring you joy, and the people who genuinely care about you. One of the most powerful things you can do to improve your mental and emotional health is to set boundaries with social media. This doesn't mean you have to cut it out of your life completely, though some people may choose to do so. It simply means being intentional about how and when you engage with it. For example, you might choose to only check your social media accounts once a day, or to limit your time on certain platforms. You can choose to unfollow accounts that consistently bring you negativity or make you feel bad about yourself. This isn't about avoiding the world, it's about protecting your peace. It's important to recognize that social media can often amplify negative emotions. You might see someone's perfect life and start to feel inadequate, or you might get caught up in an argument that leaves you angry and upset. These feelings are real, and they can affect your mental health. But when you limit your exposure to this negativity, you begin to create a space for peace. You take back control of your thoughts and emotions. By turning off toxic social media, you create room for the things that truly matter. You can focus on your own goals, your relationships, and your personal growth. You can invest more time in activities that bring you joy, whether it's reading, exercising, spending time with loved ones, or simply enjoying some quiet time by yourself. These are the things that nurture your soul and bring peace to your life. Social media, on the other hand, is often a distraction from what truly matters. It's easy to get caught up in the drama or the desire to keep up with everyone else. But when you step away from it, you free up space to focus on your own life and what you truly want to achieve. Social media can also make us feel disconnected from the real world. It's easy to become so absorbed in your online interactions that you forget about the world around you. You might be scrolling through your feed while sitting in a room full of people, missing out on real-life connections and experiences. The more you spend time on social media, the more you disconnect from what's happening right in front of you. When you choose to step away, you reconnect with the world around you. You start to pay more attention to the conversations happening in person, the beauty of nature, and the small moments that bring happiness and peace. Another important aspect of turning off toxic social media is reducing the impact of comparison. We all know how easy it is to compare ourselves to others online. Whether it's someone's perfect vacation photos, their seemingly flawless life, or their constant stream of accomplishments, it's easy to feel like we're falling behind. But here's the truth. Social media is a highlight reel, not real life. No one's life is perfect, and everyone faces challenges and struggles. When you compare yourself to others, you're not seeing the full picture, you're only seeing a curated version of their life. By stepping away from social media, you stop the cycle of comparison and start focusing on your own journey. You learn to appreciate your own progress, celebrate your own achievements, and stop measuring your worth against someone else's standard. It's also important to note that social media isn't always a reflection of reality. People often post only the good things when they're having a great day, when they're on a beautiful vacation, or when they've accomplished something significant. What they don't post are the struggles, the setbacks, and the challenges. This can create an unrealistic expectation that everyone else's life is better than yours. But the truth is, we all face difficulties, and no one's life is as perfect as it may seem online. When you disconnect from social media, you remind yourself that life is full of ups and downs, and that's okay. You start to accept your own journey without constantly comparing it to someone else's highlight reel. To claim peace, you must be intentional about how you spend your time and energy. You have the power to control what you allow into your life. Social media can either add value or drain your energy. It can either help you connect with others and grow or create unnecessary stress and anxiety. By choosing to turn off the toxic social media, you take back control over your mental health and your peace of mind. You create a space where you can focus on the things that truly matter, like building meaningful relationships, setting goals, and investing in your personal growth. Take a break from the noise, reclaim your peace. Give yourself permission to step away from the toxic social media that drains your energy. You have the power to choose what you allow into your life. When you turn off the distractions, you'll find that the world around you becomes more peaceful. You'll start to feel more connected to the things that matter, more focused on your own goals, and more at peace with yourself.
Number 8. Win daily by starting your morning with intention. The way you start your day can shape the rest of it. It's not just about waking up and going through the motions. It's about making the first few moments of your day count. When you start your morning with intention, you're setting the tone for the day ahead. You're telling yourself that today matters, and you're taking control of how it unfolds. Think about it for a moment. When you wake up and simply react to the world around you, you're leaving the direction of your day in the hands of everything else. You might check your phone, scroll through social media, or get stuck in the rush of what needs to be done. Without intention, your day can quickly slip into chaos, stress, and a lack of focus. But when you wake up with purpose and clarity, your day becomes yours to control. You become the driver, not the passenger. Starting your morning with intention is about creating a mindset of purpose from the very first moment. It's about knowing that each new day is an opportunity for growth, achievement, and making progress toward your goals. It's about making deliberate choices instead of allowing yourself to get swept up by circumstances.
The first step in this process is simple. Wake up with gratitude. Think about the blessings in your life. No matter how small, gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to begin the day on a positive note. It shifts your focus away from what's missing or wrong and helps you appreciate the abundance that already exists. When you start your day by being grateful, you're aligning yourself with a mindset of positivity and abundance rather than lack and negativity. The next thing you can do is set clear intentions for the day ahead. It doesn't have to be a long list of tasks, just a few focused goals or actions that you want to accomplish, whether it's working on a project, taking care of your health, or having a meaningful conversation with someone. Setting an intention helps direct your energy towards something important. You're no longer reacting to whatever comes your way, but proactively working toward what you want. For example, if you're working on a personal project, start your day by visualizing your success and the steps you'll take to move closer to your goal. If you want to improve your fitness, commit to taking care of your body that day by eating well and exercising. The key is to be intentional about what you want to achieve, even if it's as simple as having a calm and peaceful day. Another crucial part of winning the morning is taking care of yourself physically and mentally. Your morning routine doesn't have to be complicated, but it should include actions that nourish both your body and mind. Whether it's stretching, exercising, meditating, journaling, or reading something inspiring, investing a few minutes in yourself at the start of the day pays off in big ways. When you take care of your physical and mental health, you set yourself up for a successful day. Consider starting with some form of movement. This could be as simple as stretching your body, going for a walk, or doing a few minutes of yoga. Moving your body gets the blood flowing, boosts your energy, and sets a positive tone for the day. It doesn't have to be a full workout, it just needs to be something that wakes up your body and gets you in motion. Mental nourishment is just as important. If you spend the first part of your day filling your mind with negativity or distractions, you're setting yourself up for a day filled with stress. Instead, choose to feed your mind with positive, motivating content. This could be reading an inspiring book, listening to a podcast that empowers you, or journaling your thoughts. Whatever it is, make sure it's something that encourages you and aligns with your goals. Now let's talk about focus. In our world today, distractions are everywhere. It's easy to fall into the trap of checking your email, scrolling through social media, or letting external pressures dictate how you spend your time. But if you want to win the day, you have to fight the distractions. This starts in the morning. By setting an intention early on, you're making a commitment to focus on what truly matters. You're not wasting time or energy on things that don't move you forward. A helpful tool to keep you on track is the idea of a power hour. This is the first hour of your day where you focus solely on your most important tasks or goals. Whether it's writing, planning, or taking action on something important, dedicate this time to high-value work. This doesn't mean checking emails or handling distractions. This is your time to focus on what truly moves you closer to your big picture. By winning the morning, you win the day. When you begin your day with intention, you're building momentum. Each small, purposeful action creates a ripple effect that sets you up for continued success throughout the day. It's about creating a positive feedback loop where you're constantly reinforcing your goals and actions with intention. You also need to keep in mind that it's not about perfection. Some days, things might not go as planned. You might face challenges, unexpected events, or distractions. But if you start your day with intention, you're still giving yourself the best chance to adapt and make the most out of whatever comes your way. It's about being adaptable and staying aligned with your purpose, even when life throws curveballs. Here's the thing, mornings are a reflection of how you approach your life. If you approach the morning without purpose or intention, you're signaling to yourself that the day doesn't matter. But when you approach each morning with focus, energy, and clear intentions, you're showing up for your life in a meaningful way. You're telling yourself that you're worthy of success and that today is an opportunity to move closer to your goals. Remember, starting your morning with intention is a simple yet powerful practice. It sets the stage for how you show up in the world. It helps you stay grounded, focused, and positive, even when things get tough. It's not about what happens to you during the day, it's about how you respond. When you start each day with purpose,
You take control of your thoughts, actions, and ultimately your life. You create a life that's not just lived by chance, but by design.
Number 9. Replace fear by practicing gratitude every single day. Fear is something that affects all of us. Whether it's the fear of failure, fear of judgment, or the uncertainty about the future, it's something that can hold us back from achieving greatness. Fear is a natural part of being human. But here's the good news. You don't have to let it control you. You have the power to replace fear with something much more powerful and positive: gratitude. When fear shows up, it often brings with it a sense of powerlessness. It makes us feel like we're not enough, like we can't handle what's coming our way. Fear thrives in uncertainty and can cloud our judgment, making us hesitant and doubtful. But when you practice gratitude, it shifts your focus. It pulls your attention away from what you don't have or what could go wrong, and instead it draws your attention to what you already have. Gratitude reminds you of your strengths, your resources, and the countless blessings that are present in your life. So, what happens when you replace fear with gratitude? First, you start to shift your mindset from a place of scarcity to one of abundance. Fear often makes us think we don't have enough, whether it's enough time, enough money, enough talent, or enough support. Gratitude, on the other hand, forces you to look at the abundance that surrounds you every single day. When you are grateful for what you already have, you stop focusing on what you lack and start acknowledging everything that's working in your favor. It's important to understand that fear and gratitude cannot coexist. When you're caught up in fear, you're focused on the what ifs. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if this doesn't work out? Your mind spins with scenarios, most of them negative, and before you know it, you're paralyzed by indecision and doubt. But when you practice gratitude, you're grounding yourself in the present moment. Gratitude forces you to focus on what you've already accomplished, on the good things that are already in your life, and it reminds you that you have everything you need to move forward. Start by making gratitude a daily practice. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it has to be consistent. In the morning, before you do anything else, take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for. It could be your health, your family, your home, or simply the fact that you woke up to a new day. As you focus on these things, you'll notice how your mind starts to relax. Your fear starts to lose its grip because you're reminding yourself of the things that are already going right in your life. As you practice gratitude, you'll begin to notice how your perspective changes. You start to see your challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. Instead of focusing on the things you can't control, you start to recognize the things you can. Gratitude encourages you to take ownership of your life and your experiences. It empowers you to make decisions based on positivity and possibility instead of fear. When fear strikes, stop and ask yourself, what am I grateful for right now? It could be something as simple as the fact that you have a roof over your head or the opportunity to try something new. The more you make gratitude a habit, the less room there is for fear. You'll find that fear becomes less overwhelming because you have trained your mind to focus on what you appreciate rather than what you fear. Gratitude also has a way of transforming your emotional state. When you feel afraid, your body experiences stress and tension, your heart races, and your thoughts become chaotic. This is your body's fight or flight response kicking in, signaling that there's a perceived danger. But when you practice gratitude, your body starts to relax. You breathe deeper, your muscles loosen, and your mind begins to calm down. Gratitude is a powerful tool for shifting your emotional state and bringing you back to a place of peace. One powerful way to incorporate gratitude into your day is by keeping a gratitude journal. Take a few minutes each day to write down at least 3 things you are grateful for. It doesn't matter if they are big or small. Just write down anything that brings you a sense of appreciation. It could be as simple as a kind word from a friend, or the fact that you accomplished a small task. The key is to make this practice a daily habit. Over time, you'll notice that your brain becomes trained to notice the good in your life. Gratitude rewires your brain to focus on abundance, not scarcity, and when you do that, fear starts to fade into the background. Another way to replace fear with gratitude is by practicing mindfulness. When you feel fear creeping in,
Stop and take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes and focus on the present moment. Acknowledge any fears or worries, but don't let them control you. Then shift your focus to something you're grateful for. This simple exercise can help you break the cycle of fear and bring you back to a grounded, positive state of mind. The power of gratitude doesn't just help you manage fear, it also makes you more resilient in the face of challenges. Life will always present us with difficulties, but when you cultivate gratitude, you strengthen your ability to face those difficulties with grace. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze you, you will face challenges with a sense of confidence and a positive attitude, knowing that you have the inner strength to overcome whatever comes your way. Gratitude doesn't just change your mental state, it can change your entire life. When you replace fear with gratitude, you begin to see the world through a lens of opportunity rather than limitation. Fear tells you that you can't. Gratitude tells you that you can. Fear keeps you stuck in a place of inaction. Gratitude propels you forward, inspiring you to take action and make the most of each day.
Number 10. Kill weakness by choosing discipline over excuses now. Weakness in any area of life is not caused by a lack of potential, it's caused by giving in to excuses. Every day we face choices that either push us forward or hold us back. And one of the greatest battles you will ever fight is the battle against the excuses that try to keep you stuck in a life of weakness. But there is good news: you have the power to change this. You can choose to replace weakness with strength, and you can do it by making one critical decision: choosing discipline over excuses. We all have an internal voice that gives us reasons not to take action. That voice tells you that you're too tired, too busy, too old, too young, or too inexperienced. It convinces you that now is not the right time, that you can try again later, or that success is for someone else. That voice is the voice of weakness. And every time you listen to it, you make yourself weaker. Every time you let excuses control your decisions, you take another step away from the life you want and closer to a life of regret. But there is a way out. You can kill weakness right now by choosing discipline over excuses. Discipline is the power to make decisions based on your long-term goals, not on how you feel in the moment. Discipline is what enables you to push through the discomfort, the doubt, and the fear. It is the skill that turns you into someone who keeps promises, who does the hard work, and who achieves their dreams no matter what obstacles come their way. Discipline is your weapon in the war against weakness. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you're taking control of your life. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that change will just happen on its own. But change doesn't happen by accident. You have to choose it. You have to choose it every single day. You have to choose it when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you feel like giving up. You have to choose it when you face obstacles that seem insurmountable, when the path ahead looks uncertain, or when you're not seeing the results you want yet. Discipline is the difference between those who succeed and those who fall short. Think about it. Every successful person in any area of life has faced the same struggles. They faced the temptation to give in to excuses. They felt fear, doubt, and frustration. The difference between them and those who never reach their full potential is that they chose discipline. They chose to take action even when they didn't feel like it. They chose to keep going when it was hard. They chose to get back up after failure, to learn from their mistakes and to keep moving forward. Here's the thing: excuses don't lead anywhere. They don't create progress. They don't build strength. They don't take you closer to the person you want to become. Excuses only make you feel good in the short term. They give you temporary relief from discomfort, but in the long run, they keep you trapped. The only way out is through discipline. And discipline isn't something that happens overnight. It's a muscle that you build over time. To cultivate discipline, you have to start small. It doesn't matter where you begin. What matters is that you start. Start by making one decision today to replace an excuse with action. If you've been telling yourself you'll start working out tomorrow, start today. If you've been putting off that important conversation, have it now. If you've been procrastinating on a project, commit to taking one step forward, even if it's just a small one. When you do this, you're building momentum, and momentum is powerful. Every time you choose discipline, you reinforce your own self-worth. You prove to yourself that you can do the hard things. You build confidence in your ability to follow through. And over time, discipline becomes a habit, a way of life. It's not something you have to think about. It's something you just do. It's also important to recognize that discipline requires sacrifice. It requires you to say no to things that are easy, comfortable, or immediately gratifying. Discipline is about prioritizing your future over your present desires. It's about doing what's hard now so that you can enjoy the rewards later. But that doesn't mean discipline is always miserable. In fact, discipline brings a deep sense of fulfillment, because you know that every action you take is bringing you closer to your goals. And when you achieve your goals, the satisfaction is so much sweeter because you earned it through hard work and consistency. There are days when it's tough, when you don't feel like showing up, when the excuses start creeping in. But this is when discipline shines the brightest. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about staying consistent, even when you don't feel like it. It's about pushing through the resistance and doing what you said you would do. This is how you kill weakness. This is how you destroy the power that excuses have over you. When you show up for yourself day after day, even when you don't feel like it, you are building strength. You are becoming someone who doesn't back down, who doesn't quit, and who takes control of their own destiny. You may not see the results right away. You may not feel the shift immediately. But trust me, every time you choose discipline over excuses, you are planting a seed. And eventually, that seed will grow. It will grow into confidence, success, and self-respect. The key is to keep going, even when the path is hard and the results are slow. The more you practice discipline, the more natural it will become, and soon it will be a part of who you are. You will no longer be a person who makes excuses. You will be someone who takes action, who follows through, and who achieves their goals. So make a commitment to yourself right now. Choose discipline over excuses. Start today. No matter how small the step is, replace weakness with strength. Because every time you choose discipline, you kill the power that excuses have over your life. And every time you choose discipline, you get one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. Remember, the road to success is not easy, but it is worth it. And the only way to get there is by choosing discipline over excuses, day after day. Choose it now, and you will see your life transform in ways you never imagined.